Monday Night Raw just got over, and in it, Bron Breakker announced there will be a number one contenders tournament for his Intercontinental Championship next week on Raw. So today we're going to go through a bunch of superstars and rate them out of 10, how likely it is for them to win, or also a combination of like, should they win, how cool it would be, just a out of 10 rating, probably a likelihood. Also, I don't think Bron Breakker's losing his title at Bash in Berlin, assuming this is where the title match is going to happen. Either way, I don't think he's losing it in general for a while. So, like, all of this is who should win the tournament and face him, not who should beat him for the title via this tournament. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Okay, we're going to start off with Jey Uso, who is the first and only person to confirm himself for the tournament so far. On Raw, he said Jackie, after, like, you know, she was hyping up the future tag team run potentially, or a reuniting with Sami Zayn. He said, next time you see me, I'm going to have the Intercontinental Championship. This is solid. He always needs to be looked at as a favorite in this, especially if it's like, I think he should win it eventually, but like it's super fine right now if he doesn't beat Braun, so it can be a good match. He can take the loss, and him and Sami can go over to get those tag titles. I'm giving Jey a 8 out of 10. All right, next up is Bronson Reed. Now, if what happened on Raw maybe didn't happen with, I guess now they're kind of going in a direction with him and Braun Strowman. Maybe they're both in the tournament. Maybe that's where their feud kind of grows and whatever. I don't know. It seems like that's going to be a separate thing. Maybe they have their own match at Bash in Berlin. I am still giving this, well, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Again, based on likelihood, I think he'll be in the tournament. It seems like they're building him up from the ground into this monster. I don't think a loss to Bron Breakker so soon with this buildup makes too much sense. And I don't think they're building him up to feed him to Braun too. I think that would be kind of obvious and something we kind of see into. So 6 out of 10. All right, Carlito. He's here for nostalgia purposes. I would love it. It would be super fun to see him in the Intercontinental Championship picture, even with the title. Again, I don't think Braun's losing. He's too wrapped up in Judgment Day stuff. It doesn't make sense. The spotlight's not on him. I'm giving him a 3 out of 10. Nostalgia, whatever. All right, Chad Gable. Always has to be mentioned in this conversation. However, kind of disqualified. He is scheduled next week for Raw to face Uncle Howdy. Just need to put him here to give a explanation and a reason, and you know, that's a talking point. Would I give him 0 out of 10? 0 out of 10. It can't happen. He's booked for something else. Dominic Mysterio. I would love, again, I can say the same thing about a lot of people on this list, but I would love for a singles title run. He had the North American Championship. That was fun. I think eventually we're going to see him with the US title and or the Intercontinental Championship. Has a similar story to Carlito, except his is even to a larger extent. He's also booked for Bash in Berlin in the mixed title match, and regardless, he's in that whole storyline, whatever. He gets 2 out of 10. Heavy hitter. This might even be a spoiler of me saying heavy hitter. Ilya Dragunov, not currently on the card for Bash in Berlin. I think that tells you everything. Do I think he's going to beat Bron Breakker? No. But they have the history together. I would even say that they have like already a feud, right? They face each other. They face each other in NXT. They have history. They have a feud. They can build on that in Bash in Berlin. Ilya has yet to really find his wings and have his breakout moment on the main roster. And again, he's not even on the card at Bash in Berlin yet. This is how you do it. This is how you get him on the card. Months ago, we thought we were getting Gunther versus Ilya for the IC title. Obviously, Gunther, World Heavyweight Championship. That's fantastic. That's amazing. We'll revisit that down the line. However, you need to get Ilya on the show. You need to get him on the card. Bron Breakker versus Ilya. Run it back. Give him the PLE in Berlin. It'll be sick and it'll be great. That's a 10 out of 10. That's my pick. That's my pick, 10 out of 10. Few more. Next up, Xavier Woods. Again, I think all of these people are going to be in the tournament. So, like, I don't know, maybe it's also a predictions thing, and I don't know, we'll see how good my thought process turns out. Anyway, Xavier Woods, I think if he turned on Kofi this week, well, a few things. If he turned on Kofi this week, and also Braun was in a position to drop the title, and this wasn't his, like, second feud with the title, and we weren't so early into his reign, that I think it's going to be a really long and dominant reign, I think Xavier Woods and a lot of people would have a better argument. But imagine, like, if Xavier Woods turned on Kofi, he's like, I'm going to do shit on my own. Enters a tournament by himself, wins the tournament, goes on to face Bron Breakker, gets his first world title. It's great. It's just not in the cards right now. I think eventually in the future, things will line up again for something like this, whether it's the breakup story or not. But I'm giving Xavier Woods, giving him a 7 out of 10, because I'd like to see it. Again, it's more so who's going to face Bron Breakker than it is who's going to beat him through this tournament, because can't reiterate enough, the winner of this tournament's not beating Bron Breakker. IMO. I mean, I can't say anything definite, you know what I mean? Next up is Pete Dunne. Had a banger with Sheamus on Raw that we just saw. I want them to do a best of 7. or just keep this going with Sheamus and Pete Dunne. Maybe they keep this going in the tournament. Maybe they face each other again in the tournament. Maybe they meet at a later round. I don't know how many rounds there are. I don't know if there's going to be like a crazy finals blow off. We're getting very close to Bash in Berlin. I don't know what's going to happen. However, I'm giving Pete Dunne a 7 out of 10. I just love to see the match. I think it'd be sick. I think if he won against Sheamus, I'd be a little more convinced, but I don't know. Is Sheamus next on this list? Do I have Sheamus next? Yeah, I do have Sheamus next. Never won the IC title. That's an argument again for him winning it. Would love to see him take a swing. I think he'll be in the tournament. Love him in the title picture. He also gets he gets one under Pete. He gets a 6 out of 10. Another story if Bron was in the position to drop it. I would love to see Sheamus finally get his hands on the IC title, really round out that career. Not that he needs it rounded out, but like, you know what I'm saying? Gotta put him in here. He'll be in the tournament because he's in all of these tournaments and he's just like, he loses them. It's fine. It's whatever. Rey Mysterio, he gets a 4 out of 10 out the gate. I'd love it. I'd love to see it. Rey Mysterio versus Bron Breakker. Bron would fucking kill him and it would make me a little scared, but selfishly, I'd love to see Rey in it. I don't know. Again, I have to remind myself, like, he wouldn't win, but 4 out of 10, I don't know. He's Rey. He's going to be in the tournament. Last one, we got to put him. Sami Zayn. I do feel like we've officially closed the book on Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn, at least for now. I think there's always room for this underdog Sami Zayn and the IC title. He'll come back and, imagine the underdog story is he enters this tournament again and he works his way up all through it and he faces Bron Breakker again and he, finds the courage and the strength and the whatever. Like, the babyface Sami Zayn thing writes itself, and this could be an example of it. It's a perfect example of it. But do I think it's happening? Not necessarily. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. I think Jay is kind of going to be in it for them. I think Jay's going to lose. They go and do the tag team title thing. I think at this point, again, this story there, I wouldn't even hate it. I'm just kind of itching to see the next Bron Breakker feud and to see what's next and revisit it in the future. Fine. But 5 out of 10 because I think there's possibilities there. And those are my thoughts and what I think the likelihood is for who's winning or going to win this Intercontinental Championship #1 contenders tournament to face Bron Breakker for his title. Again, I assume it's at Bash in Berlin. I might have just not paid attention to that. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you think Bron Breakker is going to face. Let me know who you think is going to be in the tournament. Blah, blah, blah. You get the gist. Please subscribe. Please follow me on everything. Let me know some ideas you want to see on the channel. Go follow my TikTok where I'm posting, same name as the channel, where I'm posting all of a bunch of clips and reaction stuff and blah, blah, blah. Regardless, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Video's over. Bye. 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 Bye.